Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yeukai Kechidori.
Hey guys, welcome to another special episode, and today I'm delighted to be joined on the show by a friend, a colleague, and my special guest, Tawnya Schultz. Tawnya is in the area of helping business owners with their finances. In fact, helps individuals with their finances, and we're going to be talking about that in a moment. Now, let me ask you a question. Are you worried about the state of the economy? Are you worried about your finances? Are you worried about what is going to happen tomorrow? Well, if you are, you're in the right place, because Tawnya is going to show you the fastest and proven way for you to get ahead in your finances. Tawnya, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Excited to be here.
You know, I'm excited because a lot of people have been asking, do you have any guests who can share ideas on budgeting, the better way of doing it? And then you come across, and so it's going to be great. For those,
I'm excited to talk about it.
Awesome. You have an interesting story. Now, before we jump into that, tell us about your background and how you got into doing what you do today.
Yeah, well, if anyone would have told me this, 6 years ago, I would have laughed that I was going to be helping people with their finances, because my finances were pretty much a mess. I was in my mid-30s and I was living in San Francisco in a really expensive place, and I moved in with my boyfriend. And I basically immediately realized if I didn't live with him, I couldn't afford this on my own. I had no savings. I was almost $30,000 in debt. And I just was like, how am I not further along by now? I was really struggling with, how am I not able to figure this out? What am I doing wrong? And I just felt like I need to figure this out. And so I started reading and listening to podcasts and doing all the things to try to figure out my own finances. And I didn't want to feel stuck. Like if something happened in my relationship, I didn't have money to move out on my own.
Yes.
And I feel like a lot of people feel like that right now, like stuck in situations because of money.
Yes. One of the things that you and I were talking about earlier on was how you felt that you should have been further along when it comes to money than you were. Tell us about that feeling. Yeah,
it's just, you not like you have to hit these timelines or whatever, but by your mid-30s, I was just like, how do I not have savings? I just felt like I was in this constant debt cycle. Mm-hmm. And I almost felt like it was money controlled me. I didn't control my money. And I felt like I was always just paying off my debt, barely getting by. And that was the feeling of like, well, how am I not further along? I'm in my mid-30s and all these people where I'm living are making good money and seem like they're doing really well. Mm-hmm. I want to be like that too.
Yes, incredible. And you then went on to do the unthinkable. You created a clear path, you used it, and you got yourself out of debt, and you put some savings aside of close to 100,000 or just over 100,000. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so basically what happened was I was just like, it's the time what's the saying? Like, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Like, I was like, I need to change something to get a different result, right? That's what if I want to pay off my debt, which was something I wanted for a long time, what do I need to do? Who do I need to become to get there? And that meant really getting on a budget and sticking to that budget. I'd never done that before. And I was committed. I'm like, I'm going to try this. And basically, I was like, I had $28,000 of debt. I planned that it would take me about a year if I was really focused to just pay that off. So I always tell people to just focus on one thing at a time. This is where money gets, like what I was doing and where a lot of other people do is they want to be saving, they want to be putting money in retirement, they want to be paying off debt. They try to do too many things at once. And I'm really like, just focus on the one thing. So for me, I focused on just paying off debt, And I had my full-time job, and then I took on other part-time jobs. So I was basically like, I can work a crazy amount of hours temporarily to get my debt paid off in a short amount of time. And that's what I did. I paid off $28,000 in 8 months. So that's like $3,500 or $4,000 almost a month that I put towards my debt. And then since then, I built up my emergency fund. And now I've been able to I pay everything with cash. I don't use my cards at all. I totally changed everything with how I manage my money.
Yeah. One of the things.
It's so freeing. It's the most freeing.
Absolutely. One of the things you talk about is when you are completely free from all these things, you have a certain type of freedom. You experience a certain type of joy that you never thought existed.
No, it's the thing you always read about and heard about. But man, it's like this weight has been lifted. I can't even explain like the lightness you feel. You sleep better. And you know, it's draining to always be worried about when you're getting paid next, how much money you have. It takes up more energy and space than just knowing, like, now I know for a fact I have my budget. I still use it every single month. And I'm not stressed on how much money's in my account anymore. I know exactly how much money I need to get through the month. And I can save so much faster because I have this budget that I live off of. I'm not, at the end of the year, a lot of people do their taxes and people are like, what happened to all my money? Like, I made a lot of money. What happened to it all? Well, now I can see exactly where my money went. And I just feel you feel a sense of control and empowerment. And that's why I got so excited to be able to teach people now to do the same. Because it's just like this amazing feeling.
Absolutely. And you get to a place where you're doing life on your terms. You know, you can say, I don't want to be doing that. I want to be doing that. I want to stay in that hotel. I want to do this. You are dictating what happens in your life rather than the circumstances telling you, no, you can't do that. It's a different feeling.
Oh, yeah, you have choices. Like the choices that you have are, you know, you have so many more choices and options. You don't have to take a job just because you need the money. And it's just like, energetically, it's that anxious energy of being like, I need to take this job because I need money. And now I'm like, I'm going to take my time to really find something that makes sense for me, you know? And it's just a whole different dynamic when you really get your finances in order.
Wow. And you live on purpose.
Yes, intentionally. My company is all about intentional finance, being really intentional with how you're spending your money and your plan for your life, your long-term plan for your finances and your life.
Indeed. Tawnya, a lot of people want this, for sure, especially the people who are listening today. I know they want to have this freedom, but somehow they seem to fail. Many of them understand the concept of budgeting, but obviously, you know, you had to change your mindset, or something. You had to change something. Would you share with our audience today, you know, what one thing that helped you really push through in following your plan to get out of debt and create this budget?
Yeah, well, I feel like a lot of people think they want to pay off debt or get on a budget because, like, that's what they hear that they need to do, so that's what they think that they need to do. But they really have to have a strong enough, compelling why and reason why they want to get out of debt. So having that strong reason, for me, that was my own financial independence, like being able to be financially independent on my own without having to rely on my boyfriend or my family whenever I needed money in between checks. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing, is being able to have a strong reason. Like, is it to build a legacy for your family long term? Is it to eventually buy a house? Like, what are your goals past getting out of debt that you can really focus on? And that's the reason that you'll commit to doing your budget and commit to doing these things, because you have a stronger goal outside of that.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Indeed, the why drives you. The how becomes easy when you've got a very strong why of what you're doing. That. So if you're listening and you're not so sure why you want to have this, it's time to go deeper and create that 7 level of deep, you know, why you want to achieve whatever you want to achieve, which is incredible. Let's jump on to talk about the mistakes you have discovered in helping other business owners that they make in an effort to create a clear budget or want to get into this financial freedom.
Yeah, well, I feel like I just was having a conversation the other day about this. A lot of people in business think starting a business or having a business is going to be their key to success. Like that's going to be their solution to getting out of debt or to having the money they want. But we all know how hard it is to build a business. It's not just the financial aspect. It's a lot more than that. So I'm always like, get your personal finances really dialed in so that you have freedom in your business to not have to take on debt. And I feel like, I preach about budgeting because it's so important to me, but manually doing your budget, like I have a simple spreadsheet that I have for free on my website and everything like that too. I can tell you guys more about that. But I really believe in doing your budget manually, like doing it not on those automated apps and everything that people want to use, because you have to be hands-on with your budget and see everything line for line where it's going. And not just trusting your app, opening up your account like a lot of people do. This is how a lot of people budget. They open up their bank app and like, I have money in my account, I'm good.
Yes.
And that doesn't work.
Yeah. You know what I've discovered in my personal life really, I've been doing this for a while now, is knowing clearly where money is coming from and how much is going out is so liberating, because if you can see it clearly, you can change it and you can put, what needs to be put in there effectively. And I have to admit, at first it was a struggle. Oh my gosh, I'm spending a lot of money on that. Do I really need that? It is that experience that helps you manage better. What has been your experience?
Yeah, well, that's a good point. I think the thing that I have people do in my courses and in the digital program that I'm creating is I have people look back at the last 3 months of spending.
Right.
I feel like people don't even really look at where they're spending their money, right? That's obviously step one to even before you create a budget. You look at your last 3 months of spending and you'll immediately see things like, wait, I spent how much on food, or I spent what is this charge? Like what's going on? A lot of people don't even realize where their money's going. So evaluating how you're spending and where you'll even almost immediately see things that you can cut and you recognize, is this really important to me? How, do I need to be spending money on that right now? Or what am I, does my spending match my priorities, like where I want to go? Which I think is super important for people to figure out, especially if they're building a business.
Yes, yeah, incredible. Tawnya, let's talk about the mistakes that people often make when they actually sit down to create a budget. Let's simplify it in using your system.
Yeah, I feel like a budget is actually really easy once you get the hang of it. The mistakes that people make are, I would say, just the first thing that people need to do is look back at their last 3 months. A lot of people don't know how to set it up, or they're like, it's really simple. All you do is put, your housing costs, your utilities, like your basic line items of how you're spending. And a lot of people get overwhelmed with even starting, right?
Right.
And so I tell people, don't even use a spreadsheet at first. Just like write down on a piece of paper your main cost for the month, your bottom line, like what's the amount of money you need to just survive for the month. Because we all have these goals in business, like I want to make millions of dollars, and like people get so infatuated with like making all this money. But first you just need to understand your baseline, like what do I need to operate my life? And then from there you can start to like build your goals for making more money. But I feel like people get ahead of themselves a lot.
Yes.
And create these big goals without creating that foundation. And the budget is really a foundation to everything else in your business and in your life, because then you can see it so clearly. And for me, I keep my spreadsheet open I'm on my computer a lot, obviously, and I know a lot of people are nowadays. So I keep my budget open on my computer, and then once a week or whatever, I reconcile my spending. So I'll look at my bank account and just mark it paid on my spreadsheet. So I'm manually doing it, and then I can see, do I need a little bit more money for food this month, or how am I tracking for the month? So basically every week you're kind of doing a mini check-in with yourself. on where you're at in your budget. And a budget isn't, this is the other mistake people make. People think that, oh, I just need to do a budget once and I'm good. Your budget is different every single month. You have different expenses that come up, from holidays to things with your car. There's just like your basis of your life is usually about the same, but there's other things that happen every month that you need to consider, whether it's healthcare, certain costs that come up every single month that are different.
Indeed. I love the fact that you mentioned that it's a weekly basis and you look at it every week. So which means you, when you are off, you can think of, okay, how can I come back in line? So literally you are responding to what is happening in your life, and you can see it clearly as well, which is brilliant.
Yes, exactly.
Outstanding. Let's talk about the discipline that comes with it, because you and I know that everyone wants to do this, but without putting the discipline or being, bending the path, so to speak. So I'm definitely going to do that. Talk to us the importance of discipline in this area.
Well, yeah, creating your habits and discipline is huge. So whether that's so at the end of every month, I create my budget for the next month. So at the end of this month, around, the 28th, 29th, I basically copy my budget from the last month. And so every month I have this thing on my calendar. So I'm creating my next month's budget. And it's as easy as that. You set up calendar reminders for yourself. If you're like, I'm having a hard time remembering when to look at my budget or when to do it, you set up those weekly check-ins with yourself. And you kind of make it fun. Like, you need to still have, I'm a huge proponent of still having entertainment and fun in your life. So like, a budget shouldn't be restricting. Right. You're getting to choose what to do with your money. So you still want to set aside a goal or some fun for yourself, whether it's even $50, $100, a couple $100 a month, to still get, buy clothing if you want to, or go out to eat somewhere, whatever that is. You still need to build in those things in your budget so that it doesn't feel so restricting to you.
No, because if you becomes that, you end up resenting it.
Yeah. And that's what people automatically have resistance towards budgeting, but they actually, I always say, do it for 3 months. Like, really, you have to try it for 3 months and really get dialed in. And I bet you'll continue doing it because you'll see like how quickly you're able to really hone in on your spending. But it does take dedication. And I feel like with the budget, most of us haven't been taught how to do this. So there's that frustration, that learning, that time that it has to take to learn and kind of get used to budgeting. But once you kind of break past that a few months in, then you're like, oh, this is easy. Like, it becomes natural. So it's like, just like if you're doing exercise, you haven't been working out for a long time. You're like, I got to exercise. And it's like this buildup. And then you start doing it, you start going on short walks, then you can run, you start running. So it's like a little bit like that. You have to build that muscle for yourself to be able to really get focused and do it all the time. It doesn't happen just instantly and then you're good. You have to keep working at it.
Absolutely. The freedom that comes from it, knowing where your money is coming from and where it's going, is truly liberating. You even approach life differently. You become even creative in, even looking at projects. As a business owner, you think, okay, I've got this amount of money, I've got this buffer. I could play it with this way, or invest this, or have somebody coming in and help me, because you are clear as to, okay, this month I'm operating well within my budget, so I've got this. It's amazing when you start implementing it. I don't know how have you found it.
Yes, no, I so agree, and I got really excited when you were saying that, because just in the past few months, I invested in a program, a Tony Robbins program that I wanted to for so long, something I thought I was never going to be able to afford. And it was like a pretty significant investment. Awesome. And I had those old money beliefs come up, like, should I pay for this? Can I afford it? And I'm like, I have the money. I've wanted to do this for a really long time, and I'm going to do it. And so exactly having that budget and being like, I do have the money to do this, and I'm going to do this for me so I can move forward in my business and in my life and invest in myself. You can choose to do that when you're really focused on where your money's going.
Absolutely.
That feels so good.
Absolutely. The freedom. Gosh, I keep coming back to that. The freedom. If you haven't been doing this, you really need to check it out and try it for yourself before, and you'll be able to tell others what you are learning from it as well. Tawnya, as we come toward the end of our time together, I know you have a special training program for people who are looking to progress with you. Where can they find that?
Yeah, well, I am at themoneylifecoach.com, pretty easy. And I have coaching programs on there. So I have one that's called Budget Master. That's a live group coaching session where I take you through my system for budgeting and also doing a lot of the money mindset work that I think is important, going deeper, like you said, understanding where your money beliefs and what you believe about money and how to change that. And then I'm almost done. It's going to be live soon by the time this podcast is probably up. But yeah, just go to the Money Life Coach and I'm going to have a digital program that's the same. So it's not the live, but you'll be able to watch the videos anytime you want. You can start at any time. And then I also have one-on-one coaching. You can do a one-on-one 12-week coaching program with me on my website. And we can have a kickoff session. I have a free 20-minute coaching session just to get to know you and see if we're a good fit. And then you can sign on to a 12-week program if you want to really get focused on this and really set yourself up for success.
Indeed. One of the things that you mentioned earlier on, Tawnya, is when you discovered that things were not well, you did what a lot of people in my community does, is they begin to research and find out who can help them. And you believe in mentors, like you invested in Tony Robbins. We talk about Tony Robbins. In fact, as a matter of fact, we'll be attending the Brooker World event coming up in very soon, the virtual one, and many of people in our audience will be attending that. Talk to us about the importance of having a mentor, especially in this area of money.
I think in life in general, you need mentors because it's hard to kind of find that motivation sometimes within yourself and really have that accountability. Like accountability and coaching is the main thing that people come and have a coach. So somebody, just like you have a trainer, if you want to look a certain way with your body or whatever, you have this person who helps you set those goals and then helps you follow through with them. Like, here's your action plan and your steps. And someone who can see your blind spots, because a lot of times we only see things a certain way because that's how we are and how we see it. So you have someone who can call you out and kind of be like, maybe you should try this instead, and help you strategize and bounce ideas off of. So having a mentor is so important. And just, I believe, especially in business, I'm sure a lot of people always want to be improving themselves and learning as much as they can. So it's just like the more you learn and the more you understand yourself, your business will only be more successful.
Indeed, absolutely. Finally, we always want to hear about the business owner, Tawnya, not the mentor. Talk to us a typical day for you. How you get started, and we very briefly, I think you touched some of it already. And how do you sit down and create your budget and moving on to the next one? Two questions, I think, in one question right there.
I'm like, my daily, every day is kind of different. Depends on what coach, if I have certain clients that day. But usually, I wake up and I do a lot of writing. So I've been a writer all my career. I was a journalist before I started this. So the writing side and the content side, I really love of my business. I really like writing content on Instagram and doing videos and stuff like that. So I like to brainstorm content ideas that people might be interested in my field. And I spend a lot of time writing and doing email marketing as well, like my email list and building that up. So doing that's a big part of my day. And then just connecting with people online. Obviously, we can't connect as much in person right now, But finding people I can connect with online, like yourself or like other people that I'm finding on social media and groups. There's so many groups. And I feel like I have a lot of those groups that I attend every week. Awesome. So getting that group support from people is really important in business because you can feel like you're doing a lot of things on your own. And then I'll have client meetings. So depending on what's going on for the day, later on today, I'm working with a guy who's writing a book on finance and money, and I'm helping coach him through that. So it's kind of fun. It just really depends on what's going on. But for the most part, it's just a variety of things, which keeps it interesting and fun.
Indeed. Well, Tawnya, thank you so much for being with us. Is there anything else that I've not asked you that you wish listeners will needs to know when it comes to this area of finance that you want to leave our audience with?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is having hope and knowing that financial freedom is possible for you. So many people nowadays feel like stuck in their circumstances, and I really want people to know that they can control this area of their life, and it really should be something they're focused on, because everyone should be able to live this abundant, beautiful life. And that can happen when you really get focused on your foundation of your finances. And it's 100% possible. If it happened for me, and I've seen it happen for so many people I've worked with and people around the world, it can definitely be possible for you.
Absolutely. There you have it, guys. Some words of wisdom there for you. Listen, there's a lot of things happening, but there's one area which you can take control of. You don't know where some more opportunities will come through, but you know how much you have. If you budget that, it's a sure way of making sure that you are going to have more in future. Get that going. If you haven't been doing that, this is the time to get started. If you've been doing it, go back and look at your budget. Are you being stringent enough, or are you spending your money? Do you know where all your money is going? With that, you will be clear as to the way forward. I know that today what Tawnya has been sharing will also improve my life, and I know it will improve your life. Hope you can apply it. As we always say, apply something new today that you've learned, and you'll be amazed at what will come out of that. With that said, thank you for being here with us, and I look forward to catching up with you on another episode here on Yeukai Business Show. Tawnya, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show.
Yay, thank you so much. I have to talk to you.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.